Mr. Motayo, part of the criticism of the way things exist at the moment is that the powers the minister has are just too many, and that this issue of discretion, his ability to do certain things, which part of the PIGB is seeking to do. From the point of view of people who work in the sector and who earn a living, what is your view regarding the sort of role that the minister should play?
The first thing we want to be here is the ease of doing business. I think that's one of the key things that the bill is aimed to do. So whatever we do, we shouldn't compromise that. Now, if we have, as the bill says, that it needs to be recommended by a panel to the minister for approval, now, how that will transpire in reality, what we don't want is things that had extra bureaucracy to the system.
All right, okay. They're telling me that there's the slide for viewers at home to actually understand what we're talking about. So carry on, please.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's important to not put an extra level there. At the same time, with the minister, you shouldn't have so much power as that it's not controlled. I think it's really finding a balance between the two.
Right. Now, another change that we've seen based on the PI...
Can I please come
Yes,
in?
go on.
Yes. The bill, though said the minister should not participate in the decision, the initial decision on these matters, but it still has to be referred to the minister for concurrence. And what we try to do to ensure that there is this balance is to give a time frame by which the minister must say yes or no.
Does he have the final say under the PIGB?
He really does not, because if he does not act on time, then whatever the regulatory body has done becomes...
What if his action is contrary to decisions taken by the regulatory body?
Yeah, he has the right to say what, and he has to do it in writing, to say, I don't agree with this, and he writes, he refers it back, to the board. The board looks at it, and at the end of the day, if the board has a superior argument, the minister must concur.
Okay, now, I went through the bill, and I must admit I'm a lay person, so I don't understand the industry, probably like a lot of other Nigerians. I also saw there a little clause that said that the regulatory body may receive policy directions from the minister and is compelled to carry out these directions received, and even talks about jail sentence of up to 10 years for people who fail to comply. This seems like a little bit of a contradiction, given what we've just discussed.
No, there is no contradiction there at all. The ministry must give guidelines on how the ministry will be run. But why do
on how the ministry, on how the regulatory authority, the commission?
Part of the ministry is the regulatory authority. Right. So what we are trying to do is to reduce bureaucracy, like my brother said, and to get some people to sit down, plan things, and don't leave it to the whims and caprices of the minister. There must be a reason for everything that is done. If you and I apply for maybe an oil well, each person must be thoroughly investigated, and every step that should be taken to assess the competence of both of us must be properly documented. When it comes, and it is properly documented, it will be very difficult for a minister to see Mr. A scoring, say, 75%, and another one scoring 60%, and the minister will say, give it to 60%. In the past, there were such things did not exist.
It looks like what we're looking at, or what we're talking about, is institutionalizing things rather than leaving them to the discretion of individuals, which is open to abuse.
Yes. Indeed. In fact, let me even try to shed some light on that provision that talks about policy directions. That's actually the core vehicle you use as a minister, right, to keep the regulator in line. So, first of all, everything starts with everything being done in the sector being done in accordance with the policy of the government. So, therefore, we need to have our policies issued. So, we've prepared policies for the sector. We've prepared the oil policy, gas policy. We're actually going through fiscal policy development right now. Once those policies are done and they're published, They're known to everybody. They're known to people who work in government. They're known to investors. They're known to the regulator, and also known even to the legislators. Therefore, what you then want to do is that as the supervisor of the sector, you're actually watching the regulatory process. And you want to ensure that whatever regulatory decisions are taken firstly consistent with the law, and then also consistent with policy, such that if they go out of line with policy, you issue that policy direction.
So you've got what you want.
Yeah, that's critical. Yes, that actually was important for us.
Right.
Really.
Now, let me just quickly bring in the Honourable Member of the House of Reps. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, we are still going to discuss the general principle, of the bill in the House. But I think we are looking at a situation where Mr. Minister will not be the industry, and the industry is Mr. Minister. In other words, if you have a clear-headed, kind minister, you have things moving according to rules and regulations. And you have a powerful one that believes, as an egocentric, sorry to say, use that word, he decides what happened. So we are looking for a balanced situation where policy will be there, but there are some that will be in legal, straitjacket, legal position on certain things. Like, well, we should look at politics. Mr. President, appoint the INEC chairman.
I have to take a quick break. I have to take a break. I have to take a break. When we come back, we'll open up the conversation and invite the people, the distinguished audience, to join us. Don't go away.